Hey trainers, Chris here today. The two most popular titans in history will face off in Godzilla vs. Kong in 2021, and so with the hype building, we here at Pokéflix felt the need to show our appreciation for the upcoming clash between Kong and Godzilla. These enormous creatures have become a staple in today's pop culture, with Kong first appearing in 1933 and Godzilla in 1954. It's no surprise that we, as hopeless geeks, yearn to see a giant ape and lizard duke it out in an overwhelming CGI fight. After binging all three movies, I thought today, on What If It Was Pokémon, we could look at the Kaiju-verse and come up with a handful of brand new Pokémon based on the monsters of this cinematic universe. Let's call them Poke-Kaiju. For this video, Connor, Cade, and I compared the Kaiju to Pokémon that share similarities with them, and then Connor drew the final product. Okay, so we're looking at all our references here. Most importantly, we're looking at like wings and wing types. As you can see, actually, like we've got G-Max Butterfree there, which is like pretty much Mothra already. Looking at Beedrill for the stingers. We're looking at the arms on Ninjask because Mothra has like little legs, like spiky legs in the front. I think we also looked at Scyther to give us that sort of praying mantis. I think he's adding in the wings now. We changed the wings a lot because Connor was very indecisive. He liked Flygon's wing shape. That's why Flygon is there, in case anyone was wondering. Instead of like the traditional moth butterfly shape. And then we've got the lower wings, which we changed to look a bit more like Ninjask's. They're a bit more like square. Yeah, there we go. We've added the eyes on. It's got like a very Beedrill head at this point. And the feelers, which we changed. I don't know if I should be saying that we changed them, but we do. Yeah, and it's just detailing very fluffy coat. I was never really on board with the head because it just looked like Beedrill for like a lot of the time, especially with the like straight feelers because that's very Beedrill. The eyes on Mothra's wings are supposed to be Godzilla's eyes. The wings on this. Here's where I told Connor that he needed to change the face a bit. This sort of fluffy face is very reminiscent of the original Mothra from the old version of the show. I'm kind of trying to get that stinger right. Yeah, the stinger would be was like the finishing move in the movie for Rodan. So our Poke-Kaiju would probably have some stinging moves like Poison Point or Twin Needle. But we give it a head gem. I guess because it does kind of have like psychic communication powers. Also because like Pokemon have head gems, it's just a thing. Like why does Persian have a head gem? Why does Grumpig have a head gem? Yeah, so going very orange. It's very much it's the like natural color. It's like if you saw Mothra in the daylight, Mothra would be orange. Even though in the film it's mostly like the bioluminescent blue, which you can sort of see in its eyes. That's the only sort of part that got the like luminescent blue color. Within lore, we decided you would find it in a waterfall, a bit like Lugia, and it would hatch from its pupa, and it would like fly over the region, and you'd have to like hunt it down like a Cresselia Mesprit type event. Yeah, very bright orange. I think it's very similar to the pavilion there that we've got for the reference. I'm very happy with how this design turned out. It's an excellent example of a Pokemon while still being true to its inspiration. As the first one we did, it was interesting to see how combining different elements from other Pokemon into something new could have such a great result. Not yet a king, our next kaiju that we're going to be doing is Kong from Skull Island. Roll the clip. Okay, so obviously Kong is humanoid, he's big and muscular, so we looked at Monkey. So we looked at all the primate Pokemon that we had. We looked at Rillaboom, Oranguru, Slacking, Passimian. It's kind of funny because like a lot of monkey Pokemon are like very grass aesthetic, and we decided to make our Kong ground fighting. So it was very much about finding how to incorporate that typing. Connor played around quite a lot with the nose. We really liked Rillaboom as our like base inspiration. So yeah, as you can see, we took a while to decide on the head shape and the hair shape. We went Super Saiyan. We looked at Sandslash to try and give it spikes. We went Super Saiyan 3. We finally decided on this like helmet design. And we decided that was good because he's kind of like he's a guardian, he's a soldier. And then we did like mud splatters because I was like, how do we make him a ground type? So we did like these mud splatters. We decided that he sort of had like this armor made out of clay. So we put like different like plates on him. We gave him like shoulder plates. We also gave him a scratch across his chest, which is the scratch from the skull crawlers. We didn't do skull crawlers. Maybe we'll do a follow-up video to put those in. He needed to be fluffier because apparently there's leaks saying that in Kong versus Godzilla he's got to be a lot fluffier, obviously because it's a lot later in the timeline. I think the original was set during like World War II, so some time has definitely passed since Kong. Yeah, so he's basically an upright Rillaboom for like the most part, and then like you've got the typing elements on there. You've got like the mud splatter, like Mudsdale kind of. Yeah, furry shoulders, a bit of a beard. I really like the helmet and the plates and stuff, just how that turns out, how it all ties together really nicely. And it frames his face, because like, you know, it's very sunken eyes and like a strong brow on him, and I think that really stands out. And then we went through colors. I wasn't really a part of that process, but yeah, he had to be very like earthy, natural tones to match like ground fighting. Very primate color scheme at this point. And gets a little darker by the end. Oh yeah, we looked at Rhyphuria as well for like the plate designs. Yeah, overall really happy with how this one turned out. Connor didn't really like that we added too many elements to it, he felt, in the end. But I think it has a nice balance, really. It looks like a Pokemon. I mean, that's like the goal of all of these, is that it should look like a Pokemon and not just be like an animated version of Kong, because that's not the point. Okay, so next up is the Fire Demon Rodan. He came out of a volcano, just like the Pokemon Heatran. And yeah, so we looked at Pokemon that were Wyvern-esque in design, so Yveltal, Lugia, Noivern, all Pokemon that had like wings for arms. Garchomp's in there too. As you can see, we messed with the horns. I got Connor to make them curled because I didn't want them to look too Charizard-y. And then I looked over at Lugia and I thought, oh, Lugia has some cool like eye horns. What if we did those but like a little bit longer? And so that's what we did. And yeah, we didn't really want Rodan to have any elements made completely of fire, like Moltres' wings or like a Charizard tail. So the fire is more of like an internal thing, or an accent. It's a bit of lava on the tips of its wings, because obviously it still came out of a volcano. But yeah, also the beak, because Rodan is very much based on like a bird or a pterodactyl, pterodon, so it has more of a beak than a mouth. So we looked at a lot of bird Pokemon, just try and get that shape right. Also, Wagon Dragon, Dracozolt, has a sort of a beakish mouth, so we looked at that. Yeah, I really like these eye fins, I guess they would be called, from Lugia. I really think they turned out really great, because you don't see that a lot other than Lugia. As you can see, it's got claws, so it would have some use of its hands, unlike Garchomp, who just has the one single claw on the end of its fins, I guess. Yeah, the beak took a lot of redesigning, you know, to get the shape right. See, kind of having to think about it here, redrawing it again. Yeah, also the claws, the like talons. That was another thing we looked at bird Pokemon, because we wanted it to have more like less dragon, more bird. So I think those are a bit like Yveltal, but also just like Staraptor and bird Pokemon like that. Like a fin type tail. You can see at this point that it's sort of turning into it's got a lot of character to it. And I really like how that came through. It's very like, it's almost like cute or playful. It would definitely fall under more of a category of like a Latias or a Cresselia type, you know, a roaming legendary. I can definitely see Ash like befriending this Pokemon in a movie, like riding on its back in like some epic finale to get to like maybe the bigger legendary that's causing trouble. Look at it, it's cute. It's playful. Yeah, then we add some color. We went with like burnt colors, so we looked at Pokemon like Torkoal and Coalossal. So we also looked at Crocodile there, just to get those like dark reds, you know, give it more of a like volcanic feeling, like volcanic rock and ash and stuff. Because you know it's been living in this volcano, and then it's been freed or whatever after millions of years, like in the film. Yeah, very dark, like soot wings, you know. Very much Aerodactyl inspired though. still, I'd say there was a lot of the design that came from Aerodactyl. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite of the ones that we did. Yeah, just really overall happy with how it turned out, and I could totally, again, like, the point is that it's a Pokemon, and I could definitely see this being a Pokemon that you catch in the game. Okay, so this was a last minute addition. We hadn't planned on doing this one, but Connor surprised us and drew it up in his free time. This is Behemoth, of course. Behemoth originally was just a giant mammoth, but they added in an element of orangutan or primate to make it more unique. So this and it only has like a brief cameo in Godzilla King of Monsters, where it's just like walking along the land. So there wasn't very much concept art and images that we could go off for references. You can see here Connor's given it hooves. For some reason, we took those out. And the most difficult element of this was the trunk. As you can see at this point, it's wearing what looks like a mask, a hockey mask, and it doesn't look like a trunk. And the idea was that it had its trunk sort of curled in. So we had to sort of look at some of the elephant Pokemon. Obviously we were looking at Mamoswine because it is a mammoth. Obviously we looked at other elephant Pokemon. We looked at Donphan, Copperaja, but we also looked at Drowsy, because Drowsy obviously has a very short trunk that we could sort of take and use. Yeah, here you can see trying out some different trunk positions to try and get it to look more natural, to sort of fit it in. Feels like kind of the tusks sort of got in the way at a point, you know, because the trunk had to go behind the tusks. And then obviously we looked at there's only two really orangutan Pokemon, Darmanitan and Oranguru, for the kind of like long-armed, or I guess also like sloth-like sort of body. So that's probably why Vigoroth and Slackoth are there as well. Yeah, this is sort of how we ended up doing it. But this is how we ended up doing it, and yeah, I think that's probably the best we got. Looks like a trunk now. Here we are changing the feet, like I said we would, making them into toes, classic Pokemon toes. Start with the coloring. The idea was that it was this sort of guardian of nature, so very earthy tones. Obviously we've got the like grass on the forearms. Like I said, we add more elements, add more typing elements to make it look more like it's typing of rock grass. Yeah, you see we added the spikes in the back are green. I think we changed those to rocks right before the end. Yeah, here we add in the typing elements. So we make the end of the tusks into rocks. And we looked at Lycanroc, because Lycanroc is one of the few rock types that's not completely made of rock, and it's got like fur and fluff. So that was a pretty good base for our design. And then we also added some rocks to the top of its head, because we sort of had the same thing we had with King Kong, where there was just nothing going on up there. It needed something. Needed an extra element. I think one of the core like things I went into this with like, this is this giant, you know, mountain-sized creature. You know, it should have like rocks on it and, you know, like ridges and stuff. yeah, and then we added the seeds and stuff on its forelegs, a bit like Shaman, just to go with that extra grass detail. And yeah, that's about it. Now, this was a bit, like I said, this was a last minute one, but I like how it turned out. I think it's a very unique Pokemon. It's definitely a legendary Pokemon design, because you kind of go, oh, that's different. That's something that they wouldn't usually put in Pokemon. But yeah, there's a lot of nice elements that we sort of took as far as we could to reflect its typing. Time for Godzilla, King of Monsters. We definitely weren't short of inspiration for this one. We looked at Haxorus, Tyranitar, Tyrantrum, Garchomp, Zekrom, just most dragon types. We looked at Kingdra, because we wanted to get like an aquatic dragon sort of idea. Yeah, we took a lot of elements. We tried giving him fins. We tried giving him like more detail, but eventually we decided that just like less detail was probably better. We tried to keep him true to the original, so he's very bulky, very thick legs and arms, which the first draft of this that we did before anything else didn't really have. It was a bit too slender. So we decided on redoing it, and that's how we came to make this guy. Yeah, he's very true to Godzilla, very rounded, very heavy set. We've given him some gills there, obviously, because he does swim a lot, and that's why we gave him the water typing, because he actually does have gills in the films. We gave him dragon water. Yeah, and then there's the original. We kept the same sort of color scheming. We also just weren't very happy with the pose of the original. He sort of like turned away from the camera, and that doesn't really show off the design all that well. There's the red eyes that are on Mothra's wings, of course. That's actually a little fact from the film, that Mothra's wings are supposed to look like Godzilla's eyes. And yeah, it's got like very short snout face. That was sort of Machop or Machoke, that sort of came from. Yeah, and then like light blue accents, obviously when it uses its like blast attack, its atomic breath or whatever it's called. Yeah, very happy with how this one turned out. I think it's definitely the truest to its origin, to what it's based on. Alright, for our final Poke Kaiju, we've got King Ghidorah, or I guess not King Ghidorah anymore. Obviously, we got to play around with 3 heads for this one. There's a few Pokemon with multiple heads. Actually, there's not that many, as I found when I was looking. So, Dodrio's here, Hydreigon's here. I even joked that I thought Dugtrio should be here. It's not. Yeah. So, also again, lots of dragon inspiration for this. So, don't hate. Mega Charizard Y is here, just for the horned like head shape. I really like how Connor gave each head its own sort of personality. I think that's conveyed really well in the drawing. And also it's like it's weird. Like it's got like weird blacked out eyes, and it's got like a strange body type. And I think that's very like representational, because Ghidorah is an alien. It's the alien kaiju. It came from space. I sort of decided that within our canon of this Poke Kaiju, that it crashed down to space, it got frozen in the ice just like in the film, and then the evil team would wake it up and send it on a rampage, and then of course you'd have to catch and tame Godzilla use him to battle Ghidorah. Yeah, so obviously the obvious choice for typing here was electric. Ghidorah is bioelectric. We also thought about making it a psychic type because he has some like mind control over the other monsters. But that just didn't really fit as well as, like, you know, shooting the lightning blasts and controlling the storms and stuff. And then dragon type obviously had to be dragon type, which goes nicely because Godzilla's also a dragon type, so you know, dragon versus dragon. Yeah. So like, yeah, it's like this head that we're looking at now. That's sort of the smart head, and then you've got sort of the angry head, and then you've got the third head, which of course is Kevin, as we all know from the film. Yeah, I like it's very good for an electric type. It's really got like some elements like the twin tails. It's got a lot of elements that are like very unique to it as a Pokemon. But it looks like a Pokemon, and that's like the main mission of this, is that it has to look like a Pokemon. That's the core, because it's what if Kaiju were Pokemon. So yeah, they've got sort of a beak mouth, like an overbite sort of jaw. That's sort of inspired by Dracozolt. Our wagon dragon over there. Also for like long necks, we looked at like Rayquaza. Yeah, here we are adding the coloring. Obviously it's yellow and like light colors for its like electric typing, but also it's got like the dark black, sort of like dark evil element to it. Yeah, no, I really like how this turned out. I think those are kind of like Giratina eyes. I think that's why Giratina's sort of there. Yeah. No, definitely one of the favorite, one of the top ones. Doesn't beat Rodan for me, but it's definitely one of my favorite ones that we managed to come up with. That's it, trainers. Thanks for watching till the end. We're working out ways to produce these kind of videos more frequently, but in the meantime, why not check out one of these other videos on the screen? Want to chat? We have a Discord. For memes, check our Instagram. And for more VGC stuff, go and follow us on Twitch. And as always, why not like and subscribe for more videos more often?